let's talk about gold then. That one is headed for a weekly loss today. In fact, this week so far it has already fallen 0.7% and it is now trading near that $4,050 per ounce in the global market. Remember, you had the US jobs claims data report that came in yesterday, which showed mixed signals, because of which possibility of a rate cut in the month of December has now fallen. In fact, just 40% analysts now believe that we could perhaps see a rate cut in the month of December. So that continues to weigh heavy on the global asset classes and in the global oil and the yellow metal market as well. Meanwhile, as far as oil is concerned, that continues to trade below that $63 per barrel mark. Zelensky has now agreed to work on a peace plan that is weighing heavy on oil prices. Perhaps supply could rise in the global market, and that is precisely the reason oil has now fallen below that $63 per barrel mark in the global market. So those are the latest moves in the oil and the yellow metal market. But let's shift focus then. We are nearing the end of the year, and Mirae Asset Sharekhan has come out with their latest report on outlook for 2026, where they continue to remain very bullish when it comes to the outlook for the next year, although they believe that the start of the year could be muted, but perhaps we will see demand uptick in the month of April to September. So to understand what the outlook is going forward, we now have Mr. Mohammad Imran, research analyst at Mirae Asset Sharekhan, now joining us. Mr. Imran, afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us today. First up, if you can describe how 2025 has been. It was rather lackluster, isn't it? And what makes you so confident about 2026? What will the key drivers be? Because I believe you are penciling in a 25% upside when it comes to copper.
Hi Ashish, good afternoon. Yes, so as you said that 2025 have been a lackluster because of the demand. Demand wasn't there because of slowdown in China, but overall the supply constraint has been the support for base metals. We have seen that copper prices are up by almost like more than 20%, and that is on the expectation of that 2026 could be a deficit year for copper, although metal market remain in a surplus of above more than 150,000 as of now. And but there are a few events that happened between last 2 months that has changed the global dynamics for copper. And one of the reasons is that AI or new age technology remains the biggest factor for metals to drive higher for the next year.
Okay, and what
So
makes...
if I have to
Okay, so my question is, what makes you so bullish when it comes to copper as compared to other metals? Zinc, lead, aluminium, you're expecting a 10% upside, but you're very bullish when it comes to copper.
see, actually, we haven't seen demand rising from China, but as the latest plenum or the 5-year planning that had came out in the month of October says that copper, China is going to have a heavy advancement on their technology, and they want to become technology self-sufficient on technology in the next where we expect that copper demand is high, is going to be very high from China, as well as AI driven investment in US will drive copper prices higher. Plus, what happened in Indonesia, like they have already lost 3% of global copper mine production for the next, like for 2026. Because what happened in Grasberg mine, which accounts for 2.7 to 3% of roughly mine production, is not going to have operation till second half of 2026. So that is the biggest worry for market. And if you look at the numbers, so from January to October, China's EV sales has jumped up by 28%, and China roughly accounts for like on an annual basis, if we have to talk about new electric vehicle, it is around 15 million units annually. So that is and in a global market of 80 million unit cars, uh, China is EV market is already having 20% market share, and this is going to grow up for the upcoming years. So that's why we expect copper. Structurally, copper looks the strongest commodity for us.
Okay, so copper is the strongest commodity. That's the outlook for 2026. But since we are talking about China, let's also talk about the big elephant in the room. China has time and again tried to stimulate its economy by giving various stimulus measures. Do you think it will continue to do so in 2026 as well? And will that then drive demand globally?
So, see, we have seen that for the past, since opening up after they have opened up from COVID. So, for past 24 months, they have been trying hard to drive their real estate market with so many of reforms coming up, but that has not been happening, and that's why we have seen lackluster performance of copper as well as zinc metal as well. But going ahead, we expect that this structural deficit is going to come up from Mongolia, Indonesia, like Africa is also facing some issues with their the region of Dominic Republican of Congo. So even from there, we see a deficit, and even like there are civil unrest in Peru and natural calamities in Chile, so that could impact the supplies. While, as you said, that China is facing issues of debt and their restructure hasn't helped to drive the markets higher, but we expect that technology is still something where China has been doing really well over last 3 years. So this is the sector which is going to drive this sector, new age technology, as I have already mentioned, will uh, will require more of 3 to 4x of all the metal demand. So that is where we are bullish about.
Okay, so new age technology will
And
drive.
further we expect that China will come up with stimulus in January or in February. So that is going to be helpful for overall commodities.
Okay, so you expect China to come up with another round of stimulus measures. That's the word coming in. Imran, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us understand what the outlook is for calendar year 2026. But